I don't know if you would consider me young. I just turned 28, but I'll answer your question about I guess the Cup guys running with us every week. Yeah, well, I guess you could say that, but it definitely hinders the guys like us trying to come up in the sport and try to make a name for ourselves. You know, any given weekend, there's maybe a handful of guys that a lot of guys out here kind of know who's going to be running up front every week. You know, obviously Kyle Busch is one of those names, but you know, guys like us trying to get up there and run with those guys, that there's a give and take, and they help us in some sense, being able to watch their line around the racetrack and how they get around these places, and you know, it helps us out as far as watching where they get in and out of the gas, their line around the racetrack, and those sort of things help us. But you know, when they're running in the top 5, top 10 every single race, you know, they typically don't focus on the guys running, you know, 15th on back, and that's something I wish you know, we could get. But for now, we'll just deal with the hand that's, you know, dealt with us, and try to get up there and run with those guys. Well, I mean, at R3 Motorsports, we typically try to deal with various nonprofit organizations and charities of that sort. This weekend we have Limbs for Life Foundation on board with us on the 23 car, and it's a pretty interesting deal. They build a lot of prosthetics for, you know, people who either can't afford them, don't have the insurance backing, and so on and so forth. And they try to help people out. Most of them understand what a lot of you know, amputees go through, not being able to afford those kind of things, and they try to help them out the best they can. You know, either getting the most up-to-date and advanced prosthetics that they can get them, and a lot of them will probably be out here at the racetrack this weekend hanging out with our team, and hopefully we'll be able to show them a good time. Besides everybody locally pestering us for pit passes, I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's definitely a homecoming for. I mean, I guess I can speak on behalf of all of us. It's definitely you know, a homecoming feeling when you show up here and you come through that tunnel, and you know, the infield opens up, and it's like a, you know, like family opening up their arms to you as soon as you go through the tunnel. It's for me, it's an awesome experience. That's where I got my very first late model win here, and it's definitely a special place for me. I don't know. I mean, when I was playing high school football in McKinney, yeah, I was kind of one of the runts on the football team, and you know, a lot of the, you know, the varsity players, you know, on the defensive ends and linebackers and everything, they were all their, you know, 6'2", you know, 215-pound cookie cutter defensive players, and then I had to go line up against those guys week in and week out in a drill that they called Blood Alley. You would line up one-on-one with these guys, and typically I was on the offensive side of things and having to run the ball through, you know, the middle, and have these guys, you know, lighting me up every single week. But I guess most of you probably already read that story. When I lined up against this guy, I was, I guess, terrified to say the least. But the first time I went up against him, he busted my nose, you know, knocked both contacts out of my eyes, and turned my football helmet all the way around. I was looking out my ear hole. So then my, you know, quarterback coach at the time, Billy Whitman, picks me up by my face mask, looks at me, sees I'm bleeding out of my nose and I can't hardly see anything. He laughs at me and shakes off, says, "All right, get back in there." So he made me line up against him for the second time in a row, and I'm going, "Oh God!" And I had to do it again, and you know, same result. So just you know, high school football was fun, and you know, playing for McKinney helped me get to where I could have an opportunity to play for SMU Mustangs, and you know, since then I've given up the, you know, pigskin and picked up a steering wheel. So just you know, good to reminisce about the good old days in football, but glad to be racing here in NASCAR.